Welcome back, my friends, to another math video of CC3 Fall Final Review. We're going to do another one of those diamond problems because they're difficult, so we need a little bit of extra help. So why don't we have a look at these? So the basic idea of the diamond problem is, if I can make a box without embarrassing myself, is that you have two numbers that are supposed to go in the left box and in the right box. I'm going to call them A and B. You can call them whatever you want. I'm just trying to say there's two different numbers that go into that box. And what goes in the top box is whatever the product is. So whatever you multiply those two numbers would go up there. And in the bottom it would be A, that looks like a Q. I can't let that go. A plus B. All right. So if I can give you a little example, let's say that we have, just give me two numbers. Anyone, just give me a number. 7 and?
8.
Huh? 3? Okay, 7 and 3. What number goes in the top? Well, it's whatever the product is. You just multiply them. So that's 21. What goes on the bottom? Whatever the sum is. So you add them up. So that's 7 plus 3. That's 10. Okay, so that's the pattern for the diamond problem. And so how does that help us? Well, if we go here we have our A, right? We have the one on the left. A is a half, but B, we don't know. We don't know what B is. That's the question mark. Okay, so A is a half, but B, we don't know. I'm going to put B here, if you don't mind. I'm going to put a little B. That's where the B goes, right? And so what we do know, though, is we know that the half, this half right here, I'll write it right here. 1/2 times B is going to give me -8. Put that right here. All right, that's -8. So I can use that to solve for B. I'm going to multiply both sides by 2 so I can get rid of that denominator. And that's going to give me B equals -16. Hey, I just figured out B. B is -16. And so if I have B, then I can find the bottom number, which is you adding them up. And if you add them up, you get -15.5. I just made it all a decimal. You can use a calculator for that if you want. And then the last one, we have to add two fractions. You know what? The one on the test is not going to have fractions like that. So let's just skip ahead to the next one. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit so we can see. I'm going to do number 3. And the goal here basically is to solve for x. So in order to solve for x, we have to get all the x's on the same side. Wherever the x is bigger and positive, that's where I want the x's to end up. So I want them on the left because it has a nice big 6x. So in other words, I'm going to subtract x on both sides, otherwise known as 1x. Remember how x is 1x? Well, if you subtract 1x from 6x, you get 5x. 5x minus 5. And x minus x is 0, so all we have left on this side is 30. Now, I want to get the x's by itself. So I need to get rid of this -5. The way you, quote-unquote, get rid of something, what I mean get rid of, I mean move to the other side of the equal sign. The way in which you move it to the other side is you do the opposite. Because this is -5, I'm going to add 5, because that's the opposite. So I do plus 5 on both sides, plus 5 over here. And I'm going to end up with 5x equals 35. And now I'm only one step away from being done. I want to get the x by itself, so I have to get rid of the 5 in front of the x. How do I do that? Well, remember that 5x is really 5 times x? And remember how I said in order to move something to the other side, you do the opposite? Well, the opposite of times is divided by, so I'm going to divide both sides by 5. So I'm going to divide this, and I'm going to divide that. And that means, what that means then is that these divide away. They go to 1, and 1x is just x. So this means that x equals, well, what's 35 divided by 5? Well, thankfully, I know my multiplication table, and I know that 5 times 7 is 35. So that means that 35 divided by 5 is 7. And that is how you do that problem. This was under number 5. This was number 3, in case you're following along. For the other two, watch the other video. And well, at least I think that video is up. It may actually be gone. Just in case it's gone, make sure that you combine like terms here. 4x minus x becomes 3x. And then the other stuff stays the same. And then you just subtract 3 on both sides, and you get 3x equals 18. Then you divide both sides by 3, and you get x equals 6. Okay, let us keep going. So you're going to have some problems where you plug in a value. Earlier, I did -2. Again, I think that video may actually be gone. So you know what? Let me do that again. D is negative, and if it's not gone, just skip this part. If D is -2, then I have n equals 2 times D squared minus 5. And so if I simplify this, this becomes n equals 2 times 4 minus 5. And that becomes n equals 8 minus 5. And that becomes n equals 3. So the answer for what n equals is 3. Yeah, I'm going to move on. This one here, notice that these are going up by 1, right? 1 plus 1 plus 1. That means this one has to be 3 in order for it to fit that pattern. And then this one has to be -2. What are the bottom ones going up by? 8? No. How far to get from -3 to -1? It's either 2 or -2. It is 2. So we're going to add 2 each time. That means between 3 and 7, we have a 5. And that means less than 3 here, we have a 1. Do you see the pattern? That each one of these is +2, +2, +2, +2. See the pattern? Well, that pattern holds. So this one here must be -5. And this one here must be -11 in order for that pattern to hold. We can skip number 8. We're not going to do a problem like that on the final. You can feel free to do it, but, you know, that's that. Alrighty, I'm going to take a quick break here, and I'm going to pause and stop recording, and then we'll do another video later. Thank you again for watching. I hope that was helpful to you. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Buy my merch. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good day.